My name's Matt Widener. I spend my time defending consumers in foreclosures all across the state of Florida. I want to take a moment here to describe the foreclosure process to you and help you understand what your options are if you're served with foreclosure. The fact of the matter is that millions of Americans all across this country are suffering like never before. More Floridians than ever before are going to be faced with foreclosure or the difficult questions whether they should continue paying a mortgage when they don't have the resources to do so. The fact of the matter is that when you get served with a foreclosure, you need to take this as an opportunity to get involved in your court system and to understand what's happening in your court system. When you get served with foreclosure, the most important thing you need to do is respond to that complaint within 20 days. A process server will hand you a complaint, and at that point in time, your clock starts ticking. If you don't file a response in the court system, you can lose your home in a very short period of time. Now, you could file an answer to your foreclosure complaint on your own, but you probably shouldn't do so if you could at all afford an attorney. You wouldn't think of walking into an operating room if you weren't a doctor and operating on yourself, and the fact of the matter is that the same rules apply in foreclosure. If you get served with a foreclosure, you need to hire an experienced foreclosure defense attorney to effectively represent your interests. Now, one of the most important things I want you to understand is do not pay any money to anybody over the internet. There are far too many Floridians out here who pay money to all kinds of online sources that are promising results, loan modification, loan audits, securitization audits. None of this information is of any value to you if an attorney cannot present that in a courtroom. So the most important thing I want to encourage you to do is to do not pay any money to anybody over the internet because you're throwing that money away. When you get served with a lawsuit, the most important thing you need to do is hire an experienced foreclosure defense attorney. If you want your rights to be protected, you need to be in a courtroom with somebody who understands what the rules are. In the state of Florida, you'd be surprised to know that our court system is funded by less than 1% of the entire state budget. That's a devastating number that really gets to the heart of the crisis that our courts face all across this state. Our courts aren't properly funded, and it's very difficult for them to do their job properly. And because of that, you as a consumer need to have an experienced foreclosure defense attorney on your side. One of the most devastating things that I experience every day is consumers that have legitimate claims that could help them in their foreclosure case, and those claims were not properly presented by an attorney who understood what the rules are in a courtroom. Now, for many folks that may have been in foreclosure for some period of time already without an attorney, you need to understand that the environment is changing and that because the banks are pursuing foreclosures with much greater speed now, even if you've been in a home for many years without filing anything or without an attorney, the banks are starting to set trials and to move these foreclosure cases along. You owe it to your family, you owe it to yourself to hire an experienced foreclosure defense attorney to make sure that your rights are protected in a courtroom. Even if you're not in foreclosure, you may be asking yourself, should I continue making my mortgage payment? Can I afford to continue making my mortgage payment? That's a consideration you really have to give, particularly given the fact that Americans are suffering like never before. Understand that if you choose to not make a mortgage payment, the bank or institution may choose to file a foreclosure case against you. But whether or not they're able to proceed with that case and win it is very much a question and dispute right now. An experienced foreclosure defense attorney, utilizing all the tools of procedure and law that exist, can have a very good outcome for many consumers. The most important message I want to share with you as consumers is if you're served with a foreclosure lawsuit, you need to hire an experienced foreclosure defense attorney to properly represent your interests. Do not rely on out-of-state sources. Do not rely on paying any money to anybody on the internet. You need a licensed attorney in your state, and you need to be able to meet with that attorney. You need an attorney that's angry at the banks. You need an attorney that understands the court procedures and the rules and is not going to be learning a foreclosure case on your dime. You need an experienced attorney that's prepared to go in a courtroom and fight for you.